Yesterday, a Chinese lab shipped the biggest OpenAI model ever built, 2.8 trillion parameters. The biggest model America ever open-sourced was 400 billion. It just beat Claude and GPT at writing code, not at the edges. At the one thing America was sure it owned. For the first time, China cracked the top tier, and American labs just got a very expensive problem. And in 11 days, they give the whole thing away free. American labs still charge you by the word. This is the day the AI race stopped being America's to lose. The lab behind it is called Moonshot AI, not a giant. A Beijing startup most people outside China have never heard of. Beijing, not Silicon Valley. And that detail is the whole story. This is a lab barely 3 years old. Yesterday they released a model called Kimi K3, and the AI world kind of stopped. VentureBeat called it the largest open source model ever built. Bigger than anything DeepSeek ever shipped, the lab that rattled Wall Street just last year. For years, the story was simple. America builds the frontier, China copies it a year later, cheaper. That story died yesterday because K3 didn't land near the top. It landed inside it. And it did this in the open, with the receipts public for anyone to check. Because for once, the proof isn't a press release, it's a scoreboard. There's an arena where real developers vote on which AI writes better front-end web code. Kimi K3 took first place, #1 on Earth, above Claude Fable 5, above GPT. And Anthropic's Opus 4.8 came in behind it. And front-end code is the AI job people actually see, the buttons, the layout, the thing that ships. And this isn't a test, it trained itself to ace. Zoom out to overall intelligence, and it ranks 4th in the world. It sits a hair behind GPT 5.6 and Fable 5, close enough that the gap stopped being the story. 4th, in a top tier that, until this week, was entirely American. So, how is this even possible? A model with almost 3 trillion parameters sounds impossible to run, so it doesn't run all of them. It's split into hundreds of specialist chunks. Think of a big hospital. A sore throat doesn't wake every doctor, just the right one. Your question comes in, a little router reads it and picks the right 16. 16 out of 896. So it answers with about 50 billion, not 3 trillion. More experts means more room to store what it knows. The router only wakes the few that fit. The rest stay asleep. That's the trick that makes something this huge affordable to run. It also holds a million tokens in mind at once. A whole code base live in its head while it works. They built a new attention trick, Kimi Delta Attention, to make that memory cheap instead of crushing. It reads images on its own, reasons before it answers, and burns 21% fewer tokens than before. But the benchmarks aren't why this rattled the whole industry. Every American frontier model lives behind a locked door. You rent it by the word. Moonshot is giving K3's full weights away, free, on July 27th. Free as in, download the actual brain and run it on your own machines. Nobody can revoke it, patch it, or quietly raise the price later. An indie developer who could never afford GPT now runs a frontier model for the cost of a hard drive. A hospital in Warsaw, a startup in Lagos, a bank that trusts no cloud, all get frontier AI for $0. Researchers can crack it open, change it, and see exactly how it thinks. A law firm can train it on its own files, in-house, and never leak a single page. So why give it away free? Because a free model can't be sold, and you can't charge for something that's free. It's a match dropped under the pricing that pays OpenAI and Anthropic's bills. Those labs raised billions on the promise that you'd keep paying per token. OpenAI burns billions a year just keeping the lights on. That math only works if you keep paying. Moonshot doesn't need you to pay them. They need the American labs to stop getting paid. We've seen a smaller version of this movie before. Early last year, DeepSeek shook the market with a cheap, capable model, K2, then K2.6, now a Frontier K3, all inside a single year. This is that same move, but at the actual frontier, not a step below it. When word spread, AI valuations wobbled the same afternoon. Now 2 honest catches before anyone calls the race. First, the era of dirt-cheap Chinese AI is quietly ending. K3's own hosted price is $3 per million tokens in, 15 out. Real money. Cheaper than Opus, sure, but nowhere near the pennies DeepSeek trained everyone to expect. Second, that coding crown is one narrow board, judged partly on taste. It doesn't test backends, long agent jobs, or the boring reliability that ships real products. Real products break on the boring stuff. Error handling, edge cases, staying alive at 3 in the morning. So it's genuinely top tier. Not yet, obviously, the best at everything. Give it 3 weeks and the whole internet will stress test that crown. And keep this in mind. They built it while cut off from America's fastest chips. Export controls were designed to make exactly this impossible. Smuggled chips, homegrown silicon, smarter training, they found a way through. They leaned on efficiency over raw power, squeezing more out of every chip they could actually get. A year behind, closing fast, and giving away what they catch up to. It was never only who trains the smartest model. It's who's willing to give it away and still win from that. You give the engine away and sell the fuel, the service, the trust. Google gave Android away and still runs the phone in your pocket. Same play, new decade. So, who should be scared? Not just OpenAI and Anthropic, who now compete against free, and every cheap Chinese lab that thought low prices were their only edge. Mark, July 27th. That morning, the 4th smartest AI on the planet becomes something anyone can own. By August, there will be a dozen versions of it, tuned, shrunk, running on machines nobody told Moonshot about. For years, the whole business ran on one quiet bet, that the smartest AI would always be something you rent. That bet just cracked.